Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And yes, I am recording early. I fixed my sleeping schedule to wake up a little bit earlier, get the day started earlier so that I can get the gym out of the way and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that you guys do like the earlier videos. I do know a lot of people are very busy, but I figured, why not get the early morning uploads started now. So nonetheless, let's actually get into it. Let's actually talk about the market overall because we do see a major update. Now, yesterday I told you guys about concerning factors. A lot of people thought that it was me being bearish, but it was just concerning factors that I was watching in the market. It didn't mean that we were coming to retest, major zones or anything like that. I'm just saying in the long-term span of things, everything looks very, very bullish. I still think that we are in a very nice bull run pattern. A short-term, things could get a little volatile. I've told you guys that. But overall, the market looks very good. We broke out of the 47.5K zone on Bitcoin that I was hoping to break out of. Looks very strong. We also see Ethereum over $3,400, which is very bullish to see as well. And like I said, we could be seeing a lot of things earlier, and we're going to be talking about that as well. So we do see that the market is up about 3.16%, sitting at about a $2.16 trillion market cap. Very good to see. We do see Ethereum is actually up about 2.76, trailing a little bit behind Bitcoin at about 2.84. We also see altcoins kind of switching to green today, including XRP, actually up about 2.04, and we're going to be talking about XRP as well. So with that being said, let's talk about Bitcoin. So as you guys know, I've been talking about this 21-day, 84-day pattern that we're kind of trading in, right? We just broke over key resistance, or are trading on key resistance at about 47.8. I think that is a key aspect to watch for, because once we did break over, as you guys see here, we trailed higher to actually retest about $50,000 plus, and I think that is something key to watch. Now, where does this 21-day come from? I told you guys about this going back to the 2017-2018 bull run, and let's just jump into it. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. So overall, right? When we talk about what happened in the past, so here's the pattern that I think that we were trading in, even going back to 2013, 2014, which I'm going to throw up the Bitstamp chart here shortly and actually talk to you guys about that as well. So overall, from the actual topping out day, which was around that August 28th span, to the bottom range, right? So this was nearly about 21 days exact, okay? And then after that, it was about 84 days exact of just pure upward momentum to really kind of top out. It was actually roughly 77 days exact from the day of switching, but from that day, it was 84 days exact. So overall, that's where I get that pinpoint. Now, if we go look at the Bitstamp chart, okay, and we go back, so let me actually just get rid of these percentages and actually show you guys that just yet again. So we got, from that, pretty much topping candle there to the bottom candle, it's 21 days. That's pretty much where we hit flat and kind of started to build a floor, and then we pretty much ranged for that 84 days of, just major upward momentum. Now, going back to 2013 and 2014, we see that cycle actually lengthened back there. So from 2013-14 to 2017-18, this range actually shorted a little bit more. So overall, let's actually get into this. Let's look. So let's zoom in. So we do see around August 26th, we topped out a little bit. As you guys see, we ranged a little bit higher. And then from that bottom candle was pretty much 35 days. Overall, we kind of tapered off, traded sideways a little bit. And then from that day to the topping point, let's zoom out a little bit. To the topping point officially, we could technically go off of this. This was the secondary candle, but I'm going off of the top point. It was about 56 days. So the first, few days or so where we basically bottomed out, that actually shortened, but the pump, time span actually lengthened. Now, if we actually look at this, let's actually compare this. So overall, if we look here and we take into accountability the 2017-2018 pattern and also the 2013-14 pattern, we could say in comparison to where we actually started to move, we did roughly about an extra 28 days. Okay, now from the time of 35 days where we kind of sit stable and we pretty much don't move too much, we kind of shorten that by 14 days. So technically speaking, we could technically say that we are basically in this for 7 days instead of, the original 20 some days that I mentioned, the 21 day, 84 day pattern. So let's actually see how that would look on the chart. So from the topping out point to basically the bottoming out point would be 7 days. And look at where 7 days puts us. So this is where we sit stable. Now, say for so, we go off of the 84 day span, and say for so we lengthen this, because 84 minus 56 is 28 more days. So 84 days plus the 24 days is 108 days of just pure upward momentum. So where would the topping out point be? Because this is where a lot of people I think this is where the whole idea of the lengthening cycle comes from. I think that is a possibility, but I think that it's more so, where do we top out on Bitcoin? And I think that is around January, the beginning of January. Now, I've said that we could top out at the end of November into the beginning of December if we follow that 84-day pattern, but it looks like every single cycle, we could only go off of 2 cycles so far because we've only had 2 bull cycles, realistically speaking. But if we actually look here logically, right, we do see that from 2013 to 2013-14 to 2017-2018, we pretty much increased the days of momentum by 28. So if we do increase the days of momentum by 28, we would land on 112 days exact, topping out about at January 3rd. Now, again, going off of the shortening cycle of where we trade sideways, that would be a change of 14 days. So realistically speaking, it would be 7 days, and we would be on the upward momentum from here on out. Would that make sense? Because me personally, it does make sense, especially if we go off of the past cycles, which I think that we are playing into perfectly. So realistically speaking, could we be seeing some fireworks throughout the entire market from here on out? And to me personally, it would make sense because I've been calling for September 27th if we follow the same exact day span of the 2017-2018 bull run, but I don't think that is actually quite the thing. I think that we are following the 2017-2018 bull run to a key, but I think that it is shorter cycle, longer pump, right? And when we talk about the shorter cycle, I don't mean shorter cycle as in, the time to top out. I mean shorter cycle to actually correct, because we already had that major correction that we actually didn't see even going back to that time span. For an example, from the top of this, the all-time high this year to the bottom here is already a 56% of a decrease in price. Now, if we go back, and let's go back to 2013. So keep in mind, 56%. If you want to write it down, you could write it down. You could just kind of remember it if you want. But overall, if we go back to 2013, 2014, now this is where it gets very interesting. And we're going to be talking about XRP shortly. Don't forget that this is also an XRP video. Now, overall, if we go back to 2013, so we actually had the crash in April instead of May. It actually started in April earlier than what it did this year, which is also very interesting. I don't use, astrology or anything like that. I'm not, one of those people. I actually go off of just the technicals in this market. But overall, if we go off of the top here and actually just go off of the bottom, we actually had an 82.96% of a drop in price. If we go off of this bottom candle here, it's roughly 76%. So we went from an 82, I'm just going to call it an 83%, to all the way at the bottom of this candle here to about a 76%. Okay, so that is 2000 and basically 2013, 2014. Now, if we go off of pretty much what we did see in 2017 and 2018, let's go over here. So if we go off of this, we could see where we pretty much crashed. It was again, this is in June. So this is pretty much, not the same pattern exact that we traded in, because this is pretty much the crash of June ranging into that September low. But overall, the the months actually kind of shifted just a little bit. It wasn't too crazy. You know, we topped out in around April, we topped around in, you know, June, and then this year we topped around in May. So it doesn't really, you know, the 3 month span there is nothing too crazy. It's still, we always expect a little bit of a drop around the summer months. Now this drop was nothing too crazy. All right, this was roughly about a 38%. Okay, so this was roughly 38.3, if you will, get into the full on, but I'm just going to call it 38. And then from there to, and we technically had a little bit of a crash in May, but it wasn't anything specific. We've seen that already this year as well, back in February, where we had that nice dip. People were calling for 30,000, 28,000, whatever the case may be. But overall, we ranged a little bit higher, and then we had that nice topping out period again. This is where the correction was roughly 40%. Okay, so we had the 38 and then also the 40, almost 1%. I'm just going to say 40%. Now, if we go off of the secondary drop, I think the drop was actually a little bit less here. It wasn't too crazy. So we had the 76, and this was also followed by pretty much just the bear market. But if we see here, sorry, let me zoom in real quick before I do draw any percentages. So I don't know if this was a scam wick or not, but we can count it. Just from, you know, perspective here. So this was actually roughly about 37.76. So I'm just going to say 37 exact. I'm not going to, you know, estimate it to 38 or anything like that. But overall, 76, 38 almost. And technically speaking, this was an 80% back here. So what's the key specifics here? Overall, we had the shorter drop here, and we had the longer drop here. And I think, basically speaking, I think we already had the crash from 2013, 2014. So that's what I think shorted this entire cycle that we're pretty much in now, the you know, drop period. And let's actually look at this realistically. So again, we already had the 56% drop, which could account for the overall 76% drop from 2013, 2014. I know that it's hard to kind of pay attention because there's a lot of, you know, percentages wise, but this is more so for logic's sake. Now, if we go off of what we already seen, so we actually had yet another little drop. Wow, sorry, can't talk. About roughly almost 20%. So, technically speaking, 2013, 2014, 83%, followed by a 76%. 2017, 2018, it was a 38, followed by a 40%. Followed by basically a 37%. So overall, if you actually look at this, right, I think that we already had the major drop in price. Yeah, sure, this could go lower, but I don't think that we do. And I think it's the idea that we already had, if we add this percentage together, right, the 56 plus the 19, we already had a 75% drop in price. And even if we account for the January drop, we had this little correction in February, we had corrections along the way. I think that this has built strong stability and technical support, so I don't think that we have to drop too much on Bitcoin. Now, what does this mean for XRP? Well, it's fairly the same thing, right? XRP has been pretty much trading sideways. This has had pullbacks throughout the entire way through. Again, altcoins in 2013, 2014, and even 2017 and 2018 also had strong pullbacks and crashes where a lot of people were panicking, a lot of people were fearful. And I think that that's what built up for the next major move in the market, and I think that that's exactly what we're kind of ranging for here. Now, of course, yeah, sure, there is concerning factors, right? The Dow Jones is below the 100-day MA. We haven't seen that forever. The S&P 500 looks like it's retesting the 50. If it doesn't bounce here, it could get a little bit rough. Also, the NASDAQ, it looks fairly bearish, but it looks like it's just retesting the 50. I think for what it's worth, a lot of these factors that we're factoring in, even in the dollar, a lot of this stuff is kind of playing perfectly out in the sense that more money could kind of flow into altcoins and also crypto in general. But I think that XRP is showing signs of strength, trading on support in between that $1.10 to $1.20 zone. I'm not really going to count the $1.15 just yet because I don't think that we really care about the specifics of just a little bit of a 5-cent jump in XRP. Listen, we've been holding XRP for a fairly long time. We want to see the real fireworks, and I think that we will see that. Logically speaking, right, a lot of people think that Bitcoin will top out at $100,000, whatever the case may be, and that is what we actually have to look at in terms of the percentage wise from September onward. So realistically speaking, I've talked to you guys about how the percentages on Bitcoin from 2013, 2014, 2017, 2018, and to now kind of tapered off. There's not too much money to flow into Bitcoin. Realistically speaking, anybody calling for 100K on Bitcoin is obviously not looking at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is there's not that much, money to actually flow into Bitcoin at this point. There's not a lot of demand for it. Think about it like this. If you were a normie investor, sure, a lot of people wanted to buy Bitcoin at $3,000, at $10,000, at $20,000. Yeah, sure, there's still buyers now, but to really kind of sell to a normie and say, hey, you should get into Bitcoin at $50,000, $65,000, it's going to be a lot harder now. So I don't know, logically speaking, I think that we top out around somewhere between 85 to 95K. The reason why I say that is I just don't think that we get to 100K because think about it, right? That's what everybody wants. They want 100K. What happens every single time that somebody wants a specific target to be met on Bitcoin or any altcoin? Guess what ends up happening? A crash. So who knows? I don't think that we get to 100K this year. I know a lot of people don't want me to say that, but it is what it is. I still think our altcoins could see a major influx in price. We don't technically, and I'm going to say this with a little bit of regard to the overall market. We technically don't need Bitcoin to get to 100K. For an example, for XRP to hit our high targets of $10 to $15 to $20 to even $30. And the reason why is because once we see a decoupling event, we could see anything happen to the price chart of XRP. And I think that goes hand in hand to even 2017, 2018. I mean, realistically speaking, you cannot disregard this major move back here of 51,000%. Okay? And I'm just going to say it right now. Okay? Even realistically speaking, when we talk about, let's go to the Bitstamp chart. Okay? So overall, we've seen this major move back here. Now, this move from the bottom candles of 2017, because this is going off of the September, right? So overall, if we go to the top of this is about a 2,100% of an increase in price. And I've talked about this. I've talked about this specifically. So if we're going off of past market cycles and we're going off of the 2017, 2018 bull run of September prices, okay, the September prices. Now I'm going to go off of the bottom candle because I think a lot of people want me to just kind of show you guys that, because I know for a fact that there will be a lot of people that say, well, you're not going off the bottom candle, so it doesn't really make sense. All right, I'll go off of the bottom candle of September, okay, just to make people happy. So if we actually go off of the bottom candle and we do a 2,100% of an increase in price, we still hit our major targets, right? We still sell a decent amount and we still get to $20 plus. And that's exactly what I think is going to be happening, because even in the logic sense, right? Even in the logical sense, so we already had the 2,100% of an increase in price in 2017, 2018. Back here we had an 1,800 or an 817% of an increase in price. So wouldn't it technically be logical to see more of an increase in price here instead of just going, I'm doing a little bit of a realistic viewpoint on this and actually just copying the 2,100% of an increase in price. But realistically speaking, we could see, a lot more. Technically, we could see 1,200% more, which would be a 3,300% of an increase in price to top out around $32 this bull run without any indicators in terms of the market FOMO coming from the SEC lawsuit or anything. So technically speaking, we do not need the lawsuit. We do not need any crazy news to pump us up to that cycle point of $32. All the SEC news and drama and all that stuff could actually play into us hitting $50 plus, because this is going off of the past market cycles of altcoins actually ranging higher. And even in the sense of Bitcoin dominance hit 35.42% back in 2017 and 2018. And I think that we go much lower here actually, and range even lower, allowing for all of our altcoins, including XRP, to actually get more money to flow in, leading to a 3,300% of an increase in price from our current low in September. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up here because this is almost a 20-minute video. I know that you guys don't like the longer videos, but overall, when we're talking about XRP, I think that we are in store for a massive bull run where we will see $20 plus this bull run without any SEC news, without any major ODL news or any of that stuff. I think that this bull run is going to be monumental for XRP and the XRP holders that really have the patience, because we all know that when XRP starts to move, it moves very fast and it is very bullish. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. Guys, all the links and all that stuff is all down there. You guys could get all of my market stuff on my website, NCashOfficial.com. You guys could also get a ledger from my links down there. Also, check out Crypto Posters for all of that crypto merch. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. That's been Nick. Peace out.